I work. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. It is June 7th, 2018, and I get the job done by Big Daddy Kane. My man Alfredo requested the song for today. He said no school like old school. That's true, man. That's true. Hope you guys are doing well today. Today we're going to talk about some Ethereum issues. We got network congestion again, similar to how we experienced it with the crypto kitties. We'll get into the details about that. And also EOS launch, still a no-go. They're still trying to get everyone on the same page. I know it's about 6 or 7 major block producers that have, agreed upon a mainnet to go with, but we still need an overall 15% consensus on the network, so we'll take a look at that as well. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at that market cap, people. Market cap currently is sitting at $346 billion. Bitcoin's dominance 37.99%, and we're really kind of just in the same area we were yesterday, to be honest with you. Price action is very subtle. Nothing really going on. If you can look at this chart again, just kind of flat line, to be honest with you. So we did have a nice push back above the 7,300 area, as you can see right here, and that was 2 days. That was 2 days ago. But other than that, nothing really going on. So we're kind of still. I'm personally in a hold pattern. Not buying, not selling, wouldn't be doing any of that right now. If you do, we look at the 7-day really quickly to jump back. We're still in the green for most of these coins. Some are starting to go into the red, but a lot of the gains have been pulled back. Bitcoin Cash, EOS, we've got are still, somewhat in the green for the last 7 days. Binance coin, wow, up 20% for the whole week. That's pretty good. I told you guys to get Binance back in March, actually. I don't know if you recall that. I think I was talking about their decentralized exchange they were building and launching, and I said, hey man, this is going to be a great coin. I believe it was around $9 and some change at that point, and I waited for a little dip and got in. So doing great, up 60% roughly since March. So yeah, in March it was about $9, somewhere around there. Yeah, interesting to see that doing very well. I thought it would be, and I'm glad about it. But on to the article for today, people. Let's take a look at Ethereum. This is out of Crypto Vest. And it says here, Ethereum network congested again, underlying scalability issues. It says here, Ethereum remains the go-to network for ICOs, with other projects lagging behind, but the network had another bout of congestion. And it says here, the Ethereum network is showing high fee requirements in order to pass transactions faster. This recalls the moment when CryptoKitties was at its peak, consuming more than 20% of gas fees. The current congestion has been recurring for the past few days, with reports starting as far back as end of May. I know a few people in the Webbar room were talking about having issues on Fork Delta, and you need to use a site, and I'll give you the site. I'll leave a link to it in the description of this video, but it will give you a rundown on what the optimal gas price needed for the network at the current time, and that way you can try to get your stuff pushed through. But yeah, this is definitely an issue, and this is why blockchains like Tron, EOS, a slew of others are really going to steal, in my opinion, a lot of thunder from Ethereum. So we'll have to see. It goes on to say here, in an additional security warning, Ethereum users are urged to update their parity clients to the latest version. I talked about that yesterday, actually, to avoid a bug that causes a break of consensus with other nodes. This time, explanations range from a concerted attack aimed at discrediting Ethereum to high activity related to sought after ICOs. So the former is funny, a concerted attack aimed at discrediting Ethereum. So if Ethereum like slows down or whatever, they're gonna blame EOS supporters and conspiracy theories about EOS has so much money they can have people go hack and slow down Ethereum. Man, get out of here, man. Ethereum has from the beginning had scalability issues. It has nothing to do with, in my opinion, any concerted attack. It's just funny, man. This industry, we are so quick to deflect and not take ownership of the issues at hand sometimes, and it's really sad. According to the Etherscan statistics, the Ethereum network has more than 26,000 pending transactions for tokens, smart contracts, and Ethereum itself. This is much larger compared to the handful of pending transactions on the Bitcoin network. Bitcoin has seen congestion in the past, but for very different reasons. Well, in my opinion, there isn't any congestion on Bitcoin because ain't nobody using Bitcoin. Bitcoin blocks, from what I checked maybe about a week ago, the blocks are like half full, so it's not even being filled. Each block isn't even being filled. So that's why we're not seeing the high fees and congestion with Bitcoin right now, because no one is using it. The worst Ethereum congestion was seen from December to February, and in the meantime, the Ethereum network increased its hashing power, but that was not enough to verify transactions, which also require nodes. Users are urged to either delay transactions or be careful to check the gas fees. Etherscan shows that the transactions can run expensive during times of high network load, such as this transaction costing upwards of $1,200. In some cases, even a failed transaction can be extremely expensive. Yeah, this is bad, man, and this is why I've stressed to you guys: don't get caught up in what was. Always look at the possibilities for improvement, for new technologies. And I'm not saying Ethereum is dead, but I'm saying there are many projects, people, that you need to look into that are way better and much more practical, because let's face it, having users pay to do something on the network is not a scalable way of doing things. And I know Vitalik is working on Casper and proof of stake and a hybrid system, but we've got projects coming on board now in the next month or two that are ready for this. They're coming out the gate with 0 transaction fees on the network. That's the only way you'll have a realistic blockchain that everyone can use, right? For micropayments, for micro transactions, and very low latency. So it says here, the network congestion comes at a time when Vitalik is promising solutions for scaling Ethereum, which seems to be reaching its limits. Sharding and staking are the tools required to make transactions move to a much higher range, potentially getting closer to the scale of Visa. The recent congestion is affecting several ICOs, which would require a high gas fee for successful participation. The network congestion is not affecting the Ethereum market price for now, which has grown by around 7% in the last week or so. So yeah, you guys gotta let me know, what do you think about this? Is this something that Ethereum can get past? Are they promising too much and under delivering? The sharding, the staking, POS, they're trying to, Casper, all that good stuff. That's all sounds good, but what's actually going on today is what I want to know. If you guys think Ethereum can really keep pace with these new blockchain 3.0 projects, can they keep up and keep pace with those projects that are rolling out this year? You guys gotta let me know. The second article is about one of those blockchains, EOS. Says here, EOS launch no go. Block producers will convene every 12 hours until launch. Too many unknowns and technical tasks surrounding the launch of EOS, which was supposed to be a fully decentralized effort. Says here, the launch of the EOS app turned out more difficult than expected, as block producers are trying to reach agreement on which version of the code to launch. There are also security issues to take into account. So instead of a quick launch only 2 days after the token freeze, as promised, the running of the EOS distributed operating system may be a protracted effort. So this is what EOS New York said. EOS main launch group meeting result for June 6, 2018, a no-go. No-go. So let's see what they're saying. We are reconvening every 12 hours until launch. Status of security audit, someone asked. Not yet completed, hence no-go. A longer form statement will be released to address any security audit findings. So that's interesting. That's, hey, better safe than sorry, in my opinion, right? So I know one other thing as well. I know EOS put out this bounty program right before the launch, saying that they would pay people $10,000 per bug found. This one gentleman who is an expert on the Ethereum side of things actually found like 9 bugs and was paid out 90 grand over like a couple of days for finding these bugs. And he had another, I think 3 or 4 more that he was waiting to get collect a bounty on. So this is cool though. This is what we need. We need to have incentivize people to find these bugs. None of them were, I don't think, critical, but they were bugs to say the least and needed to be fixed. So it says here, the ecosystem of EOS is not completely decentralized. Consider Bitcoin, where thousands of miners and nodes would signal support or disapproval of a certain proposal. Instead, EOS will have only 21 block producers, some of which are assuming more prominent positions. So this is false information here. There are more than 21 block producers. Those are the main ones, but if any of the 21 guys seem to be going rogue, there are 120 or 130 more block producers that will be running at all times that can vote out any of the 21 block producers. So the information being spread about this process is incorrect. So just keep that in mind. I saw someone in the WebBot room also say something about only 21 block producers. So it goes on to say the block producers must also build initiative voting portals and notify the community. The EOS code for now allows command prompt voting, which may not be accessible to regular users. So it goes on to say here the EOS community sees the news as positive and the delay has not harmed the EOS market price so far. EOS trading seems to be relatively active given that a lot of the assets have been sent to exchanges, and without a working network and a way to withdraw will remain in exchange wallets. EOS inched down a little to $13.90, but trading volumes remain above 1 billion in 24 hours. I think it's currently EOS is currently at 1386. So this one guy on Twitter said here, lots of chatter about EOS being a scam with $4 billion capital raise. You need to educate yourself on EOS method in order to influence dApps to launch on the EOS platform. EOS plans to use an airdrop method rather than traditional ICOs. So yeah, you guys really do need to educate yourself on how the whole system, the ecosystem works. But at any rate, they have not completely come to a consensus on the mainnet to be used. So we're hoping that will happen in the next week max. I'm sure it will. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Let me know your thoughts on both of these projects having some hiccups. Hey, that's life, isn't it? Trials and tribulations. That's the only way we get better. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I'm out. Holla.